Elizabeth Olsen. All right, so I didn't talk about this recently, but she's talked about a couple of things when it comes to first off, MCU Marvel movie Backlash and everything, and of course, naturally, she's gonna be on the side of like, hey, I'm part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and of course, we've all heard about the Martin Scorsese thing, the other stuff. There's been all kinds of stuff from the different directors, which they're perfectly. I mean, some of the things that they've said, I agree with. I do agree with. But naturally, I'm like, I still enjoy the popcorn. I enjoyed the shit out of Multiverse of Madness, of course. But Miss Elizabeth Olsen has talked about when there's criticisms when it comes to that. Like where it says right here, Elizabeth is tired of filmmakers such as Martin Scorsese and Francis Ford Coppola bashing Marvel movies. So she said right here, I'm not saying we're making indie art films, but I just think it takes away from our crew, which bugs me. So she's going, hey, you're criticizing the hard work that people are saying, which I totally see where she's coming from. These are some of the most amazing set designers, costume designers, camera operators. I feel diminishing them with that kind of criticism takes away from all the people who do award-winning films that also work on these projects. From an actor's point of view, whatever, I get it. I totally understand that there's a different kind of performance that's happening. But I do think throwing Marvel under the bus takes away from the hundreds of very talented crew people. That's where I get a little feisty about that. So there you go. I actually understand where she's coming from. I understand where Martin Scorsese and Coppola and Denny Villeneuve, where he's coming from too when they kind of trash the whole thing. And I understand what it's doing. Sometimes when it comes to Marvel Cinematic Universe, yes, it is kind of ruining cinema a little bit. Yes, totally understand it, but that's almost like the audience's fault. But at the same time, there is a lot of work that goes into it. And she's just kind of backing up the crew members and everything like that. It's just, let's face it, cape shit. All cape shit's kind of doing that. But there's just some cape shit that's better than other cape shit. What can we say? And then talking about X-Men, because obviously we're all kind of wondering when the fuck the X-Men and all the mutant stuff. I mean, obviously we got we thought we were going to get our first introduction with Quicksilver, but that just turned into a big boner joke, which sucks. But now that we actually had Xavier show up in a multiverse sense, we're all kind of just wondering, like, all right, when are the full-on mutants going to show up? And apparently, when it comes to Elizabeth Olsen, she wants to continue on, of course, even though we all saw what happened at the end. But, nobody's ever, we just saw things fall on her. Who knows? She's very powerful. She's definitely not dead. Nobody's ever dead. But this is what she had to say right here. She said, I need to have a talk with Kevin Feige to answer these questions because I don't really know what's next. I don't even know if he wants me to say I don't know, or if he's happy that's how I'm doing, because I'm also bad at lying. So I'm happy to be like, I don't know because I don't know. Or if he wants me to say, nah, you'll be back, I don't know. So that's part of it. So then, of course, they asked her about more of the universe. She said, yeah, right, especially after you losing your child, blah, blah, blah. They talk about that. And then here's the idea that she has when it comes to the X-Men. Yes. And so I have an idea in my head that I'm not going to share with you, but I think it would be fun. But someone had just said, I'm not going to share it with you because it's my information. But someone had mentioned, okay, if they have to bring in the X-Men, and she was such a huge part of those comics. And so I would love to be involved in that capacity. I would love to keep going with this character. I think there are things, I have an idea of something that could be fun as the next step. But again, I really want to talk to Kevin about this stuff. Let me call him right now. So she has an idea. And it's kind of going to be interesting to see what happens when it comes to the whole mutants thing. A lot of people are wondering if there was something that was going to happen with the Eternals movie that was going to bring the mutants in, because there's some correlation there. But then we have the multiverse stuff, and now we have our first actual fully on, hey, that's the ultimate mutant right there with Xavier. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But, I think it's funny because after Multiverse of Madness, a lot of people are going like, yeah, I mean, she's a fucking villain. Even in WandaVision, she's a villain. you sympathize with her, which is what they've done well with the characters. You sympathize with Wanda. But at the same time, you go, bitch, you're fucking crazy. You are crazy. And even Doctor Strange is like, Jesus Christ, Wanda. And then, he realized he fucked up in the movie by going to her, and he went, oh, shit. It's all because of you, But she's crazy. But at the same time, there's some people that go, you kind of go, because that's what you want to do with a villain is kind of sympathize. But she's a little nutties. She's nutties, but, But I just really hope that she continues, and then we'll get her back onto the more gooder side, or the better side, I guess you could say. But, yeah, crazy. She has valid points. Yes, I mean, Selena, I'm not saying, but she has valid points, but at the same time, she held an entire city hostage and created these kids. But I guess there was a multiverse that had the kids, and then she now wants to get to I mean, but she played the part well. That's for damn sure.